Hello, everybody. It is Professor Green here. Welcome to Module 5 in AI Innovation in Teaching and Learning. And this week it's all about feedback. You may be thinking of feedback. The first thing I think of when I hear feedback is feedback to students. And I definitely do that. This week we'll challenge you in different ways of providing feedback to improve communication and our efficiency in working with colleagues. If you are a pre-K to 12 teacher, an administrator, a specialist, whatever you do. So I created 8 different activities based on different roles that people have to try and meet the needs of our diverse group in our class because not all of you are classroom teachers. So um, I, I encourage you to challenge yourself and try different things. And that's pretty much what this course is about. As you know, we're always saying keep exploring, and that is definitely the way to kind of learn AI and what it can and can't do for you. All right, so here are the objectives. I'm not going to read these in depth, but the idea is integrate AI feedback to improve communication and problem solving, and ethical considerations and practices like data privacy and the importance of human oversight, or humans in the loop, as they say in the AI world, is integrated throughout this. All right. And this template, it says click to open. If you click it open, that will pop up, and then this is there. This is a feedback template that you can copy and paste into your LLM, Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, anything you use, and demand that the AI gives you feedback following that template. And that will help pretty much any situation that you can think of where feedback's important, which obviously in any situation, right? So you can use that template to help you with really good and structured feedback. Now let's just dig in. So of these 8 activities, you're going to pick 2 to do, and they are all laid out in kind of the same way, and you can follow the directions to the T if that's how you like to do things. And again, once you get in there, you'll see that there are many different directions you can go. And it really depends on what your role is, meaning what your job is, what you're working on, and what works for you, what would be useful for you. So, this particular activity that we're going to do first is for pre K and K teachers, early childhood professionals, and it's rated at an AI level of advanced. Now, is that exact? No, but it's just to give you an idea, and it should take about 25 to 30 minutes. Again, it's not a hard fast rule, but if I really go into it, it could absolutely take me that time, depending on how deep that I want to go. But with you in this video, we're going to just kind of go on to give you kind of the basics. So, all right, we look here and we see this image one that I'm rolling over with my mouse. And if you look at it, to us as educators, it seems like we know what that is. We know that those are not just scribbles, right? We know that there's something more going on there. There's emergent writing. Many of us are parents as well. So whenever you see your child starting to write and think back to those stages, they have those wiggly, squiggly lines, right? Or wavy lines. And that's what that is. But for those who are not teachers, they may not know what it is. And for example, over the summer, we taught a course with a computer science and information systems student who had no children, was not, obviously not training to be a teacher. And I showed him this image and I said, what is this? And his response was, I have no idea. So it just depends on your background. But we do know as educators there's something going on here. But let's analyze it. Let's see if AI can analyze it and enhance our analysis. So I'm going to go to Gemini, and I have that image that I just showed you saved on my computer. So I go to upload files and I go to pictures and emergent writing folder. And then I go to my wavy lines folder. And I'm just going to say, what is this? And let's see how well Gemini does without really any context, right? Just the picture. All right. It did a pretty nice job. It identified it as scribbling or pre-writing strokes. That's exactly what it is. Okay. All right. Now, so mock writing. imitative writing, scribbling or drawing wiggly, wavy lines, but it's in a linear fashion, which is interesting. So it's moving from left to right, so we know that the child is following the right direction in their writing. So we know that a lot of things are going on here, right? So we're excited to tell parents about how their wonderful child is developing their writing skills. But let's wait a second. So now I'm going to go back to my other sheet. And not only does each activity have directions, pretty explicit directions that you can follow to the T, it also has a prompt. So this is the prompt that I want you to put in there. And again, you're encouraged to try your own because now you're kind of gaining some expertise in that area. So, um, given here's what the prompt says: given this emergent writing sample, and I can erase this part because this is not relevant. Please act as an as an early literacy specialist. Provide a brief summary for parents that include the emergent writing stage. It's okay if you're not 100% sure. Provide your best estimate based on the writing sample and justify it. 1 to 2 key things this work shows about their child's development. Simple, encouraging language for parents to use when talking about this writing with their child. 1 to 2 concrete next steps parents might see in their child's writing development. And then 2 or 3 simple tips to use at home. All right. Boom. Let's go. So remember, this is a conversation. It's ongoing. So it remembers my wavy lines. And it gives me a summary. So let's say what you have to do is then obviously read what it says. Is it making sense? So they're saying emergent writing stage. Your child is likely in the scribbling stage or the controlled or naming scribbling phase. All right. So I haven't studied this for quite a while, so I'm not positive that that's correct, right? If that's the new name of it, right? But it gives me some justification. Purposeful. We talked about that horizontal lines. That shows that the child has control over their drawing tool and understands writing follows a linear side to side pattern and mimicking adults writing or cursive. And the wavy lines are an imitation of text because they're just not ready to form letters yet. So what we know, they understand directionality. I agree. They have some fine motor control, hand-eye coordination, and muscle strength to hold and manipulate the tool effectively, or pencil, whatever it is. And then encouraging language for parents. I like this, right? Because parents want to know if you were like my CSIS student and had a child who came home with that writing, you might be thinking, what is this? It looks like scribbles, and not really understand what's happening behind the scenes. So you might say something like, tell me about your writing. You made many strong, long lines. Or I love you made your writing go all the way across the page, just like in a book. And those are things, that parents would appreciate you telling them. And you could use that with the student yourself as the teacher. What to expect next? Next, you can expect them to start to create letter-like forms, turn those wavy lines into separate shapes, and they're going to start to look like letters, circles, vertical lines, and humps. Mock letters, non-phonetic symbols. The child eventually begin to create unique recurring symbols that they will proudly tell you say a certain word or message. All right, so simple home support, things you can do. Focus on mark making, daily scribbling. The more they write, the stronger their muscles get, and they have to develop those muscles and that fine motor skills. All right, and model writing. Let them see you write. Narrate your actions. I'm writing the grocery list, so remember the milk. If I didn't write the grocery list, we'd forget the milk, and then you wouldn't have cereal, right? So, talk to them to try and integrate writing into your normal everyday life. And then encourage storytelling. Ask your child to read their scribbles to you. So ask them to tell you what the story's about, which would be so fun and cute, right? So have them do that. Those are things you can do to at home to kind of encourage that. Now, I'm going to go back to this. This right here is the stages of emergent writing, and you may not be able to see this, but that's okay. It's from an expert article, right? I don't have to go into it, but these are things we know. So this is my evidence, my research-based evidence that I'm using to justify what we're seeing here. So what I'm going to do is go back to that template or back to that this chat that I'm working on, and I'm going to upload that document or that I just showed you, the stages of emergent writing. Okay, and I'm going to type, does this change your opinion? And I'm going to, maybe analysis. Maybe I should just put analysis of this child's writing. Of this child's writing. Why or why not? So I'm asking for rationale. I'm giving it expert evidence based research on emergent stages of writing, and I'm asking it, does it change your opinion? Why or why not? So now it's changing. That chart that I added confirms and refines the previous analysis. The child's writing sample is an almost perfect match for the stage labeled wavy scribbles or mock handwriting. Bingo. So now we're going. Now we're getting into it, and we're getting more precise, right? We're talking about the scribbling stage. Now what? Now I'm going to put that prompt. If you remember, I'm going to go back. It's all about prompting and reprompting and prompting again and again. So I'm going to go back to that prompt, and I'm going to put it in and say, do this again, right? Because now I want to make sure that I get it right. We have to get this right. This is why it takes a human to do it, um, meaning to ensure that the AI output is accurate, it's not hallucinating, it's real. Now, do this again. All right, so I put now do this again, put my prompt in there that we'd already read, and here we go. Now it's giving me a summary, a news summary with the wavy scribbles, and we know that they're pretty firmly in that stage of emergent writing. And why? Because of the clear, continuous horizontal wavy lines. Now, I would have, if I would have just gone with the first analysis or output from AI, I would have been wrong, which would have been pretty embarrassing and shameful if I would have went to a parent and gave them the wrong analysis of their child. So now I can feel more confident, but I'm not totally there yet. So look at that. I didn't even prompt it to give me a picture, but it did. I don't know what that is, but that looks like a little bit more. That doesn't look like scribbles to me. But anyway, so it gives you a little bit more advanced. Now, if you wanted to dig deeper, this is where you get the 25 to 30 minutes comes in. Like, tell me more about what we can do, how I can do this. Like, if you want to say, tell me more about purposeful writing, modeling it, tell me more. And then you just go ahead and copy and paste that in there because I want to do this. So tell me more about that. And it goes into detail how you can do that with your child at home. And it gives you some concrete ways to do it: a grocery list, a note, note to grandma, it looks like, a daily schedule, which is great. Okay, so now we get the idea, and you can keep going, which is a great thing, and you can continue to prompt until you get some output that really is actually meaningful for you. Now we've done the work, and how do you get it into our Google Class? And there. Okay, so we're getting it into our Google Classroom. If you, here's my chat, and if I click the three ellipses or three dots, whatever they're called, click share, and it'll create your link, and it's copied. So now you can add that to our Google Classroom, and here it is. I'll do it again just to show you that I actually did it. There you go. Or you can simply go through and do it old school and copy and paste, highlight the whole thing, copy, and then paste. Whatever works for you is fine. And that will be there. And then once you have it saved as your document, it's not, this document is frozen for some reason, but you get the idea. So you can absolutely do that, and you are set for the course. And that is about all I have. Each of these activities, remember, there are 8. Pick 2 and really go for it. Pick 2 that are relevant to your work. And finally, don't be afraid to push the limits to see what AI can and can't do for you. Good luck.